Our next race is the State Board of Education, District 9. Candidates are Kevin Ellis and Mary Lou Bruner. The incumbent in this seat, Thomas Ratcliffe, is not running for re-election. Mr. Ellis was planning on being here this evening, but was unable to arrive. So please welcome Mrs. Mary Lou Bruner, candidate for State Board of Education.
I'm going to just stand down here and talk to you if you don't mind. I have a crippled foot and sometimes I wear tennis shoes. Tonight I tried to wear dress shoes and I don't think I can get on that stage with these shoes. But I want to thank all of you who voted for me in the primary. It was just so humbling to find 107,000 people got out and voted for me, just a school teacher that just met people like you and told you what I wanted to do with the schools, and you believed me and you agreed with me and you got out and voted for me. I hope you're going to do that again in the runoff, and I want to be sure for you to write that date down, May the 24th, because it's a very important date. If you don't get good conservative candidates in the primary, then you have the choice of choosing a Democrat or a not-so-good Republican, and sometimes you have to wear a clothespin on your nose to do it. So you've got to get some good candidates in this runoff, the most conservative candidate in every race that you can get. I want to tell you that I'm a country girl. I'm from a little place called Warren, Texas. It's in southeast Texas. My home, I grew up about half a mile from the Big Thicket. Maybe y'all have heard of that, the National Big Thicket. Well, I consider myself an East Texan. I've lived in East Texas all my life. I've taught children all over East Texas in many different school districts. I have a master's degree in special education and have 8 Texas teacher's certificates. And I really think that's why 107,000 people voted for me, because they thought that somebody like that might be able to help set the curriculum standards. I taught kindergarten for 12 or 14 years. I taught special ed for 10 or 14 years. I taught 2nd grade, 4th grade. I taught 7th grade English, history, and literature, and 8th grade. No, I didn't teach 7th grade history. I taught 8th grade history. And, you know, I've taught a lot of things, and I kind of know students. And I kind of understand child growth and development. And I kind of understand that some of the things in some of the grade levels that they're asking children to do is not developmentally appropriate. And that's why our children are having trouble in school. They're not getting started off right. 5-year-old children should not be forced to read, and I'm going to tell you why. Some of them would be able to. Your children probably would, because look, here you are on a night like this to try to find out about the candidates. That shows you're great parents. But some children don't have parents like you. They don't work with their children. They don't read to them when they're babies, and they don't tell them stories and do nursery rhymes with them. So when they're 5-year-olds, they're not ready to learn to read, especially little boys. Little boys are a little bit behind girls when they're in that age range. So, you know, they just need a little more time to grow up before they start learning that letters make sounds and they put together, they make words. That it's like coding and decoding. So, you know, I understand things like that. And I don't know, I think chiropractors are wonderful people. My daughter is studying to be a chiropractor, but does that make her qualified to serve on the State Board of Education when you have a teacher who has taught for 36 years? I just think that there's no comparison. I have done what the teachers are doing. I've been in the trenches where they are. I know what they're going through. It is not fun where they are right now because they're expected to do miracles, and they're very frustrated just like the children are. I want to tell you something else that makes me more qualified, I believe, than the other candidate. In many speeches, I've heard him 2 or 3 times, he has said, but we need subject matter specialists to decide what should be taught in the classroom, not partisan radicals. Well, I have a master's degree and I'm an educator. He might be talking about me when he says subject matter specialist, but in every speech that I've given, I've always said the children belong to the parents, not the federal government. And I am a firm believer in that. I found a Bible scripture, I can't remember where it is. It's on my Facebook page. But it tells you that the parents should be in charge of the children's education, not the church and not the school. You should be helping your children every night with their homework. You should know what's in those textbooks. And let me tell you something else. When they put these textbooks on the computer, they won't be bringing home textbooks, and you won't get to know what's in those books. You better watch out when that happens. That's not going to be a good thing. But I was going to say more about that subject matter specialist, but he goes on to say, he said we need subject matter specialists to decide what's in the textbook, not partisan radicals. Well, do you know who the partisan radicals are? The parents. They consider you partisan radicals. I have been to Austin. I have testified. I know what they do. They don't want to hear from the parents. They put you on page 4 if you're down there to complain about what's they're finding in the textbooks. And they don't get to page 4. They get to page 2. By the way, I've been put on page 4 too, because they didn't like what I said the last time I testified, because I tell it like I see it. And I mean, I know what I'm talking about because I've done it. There's one more thing about those words, subject matter specialists and partisan radicals. That is taken right from the Democratic platform, 2014. The Democratic platform says those very words, and the one that's running against me, he uses their words. So that just gives you an idea of where he stands. I need to move on, but I'm the conservative. You just need to know that. I want to teach the knowledge and skills that made America great. And just like that man taught the veteran a while ago from the American Legion, we need to respect our veterans. We need to be proud that we're Americans, because if you're not proud of something, you don't take care of it. And that's kind of what's happening to our country. We need to teach phonics. We need to teach grammar rules. We need to teach multiplication tables, not just the 2s, 5s, and 10s. When I taught kindergarten, I taught the children the 5s and 10s with jump rope jingles. So that's just baloney. They need to learn their times tables. And by the way, what do you think about children graduating from high school that can't sign their name in cursive handwriting? Are you okay with that? No. Well, we need to get back to the basics, teaching the things that made America great, because when we stop doing that, well, I'm not going to finish that sentence. You can figure it out yourself where we're going. Next fall, we're going to have the ESSA implemented. Some of it's already coming in, but you better know it's going to get worse next fall. You're going to need State Board of Education members that will fight it. Fight that data mining of your children. You need legislators who will fight it. You need senators and representatives, because we're about to have to fight the federal government for the right to teach our children the way we want them taught in East Texas. I guess that's about all I have to say.